All right, guys. So I'm going to do the recap for today. I had a really good trade on NNVC right at the open. So market today was very interesting. So just showing to you what happened with the market and the gappers watch list. A lot of stocks were gapping down because of the China virus. Stock SPY was down, and stock is selling off at as soon as the market opened. At the pre-market, the stock was really down. So that the fear of having a slowdown of the economy because of the China coronavirus was huge, so stock was gapping down. So in these situations, when a lot of stocks are gapping down, for me, I usually look for the stock that are already gapped up or really gapped down. So these are usually more independent of the market, because a lot of these can be affected by the market. As you see, there's a lot of Chinese stocks are in there. IQ is in there, Bilibili is in there, JD, Baba, Baidu. These are the stocks that are really typical for China, and they are really affected by China economy. Um, Sorry, that's a Benzinga. So we have this Benzinga. We should make it quiet. So yeah, so for me, whenever in these situations, I try to find something all the way on the bottom or all the way with the top. So in this example, NNVC was really nice in the pre-market, and LK was really nice in the pre-market, and we had some usual suspects as well. The mRNA was also, I traded mRNA. Some usual suspects like BYND and MU and stuff that we're trading all the time. So for NNVC, so right at the open, NNVC, NNVC was gapping up, from $8 all the way up to $13. So that's obviously a stock in play. It doesn't matter what the market is doing. NNVC was really a stock in play. At the open, what I noticed that was, sold up but quickly bought back up. I saw a huge ask and I jumped into that. Very small share size. So I took only 400 shares. On that. So I didn't wait for the first minute to end. 400 shares popped up from $14 all the way up to almost $18, $17.50. And I made a decent profit. I made $313, and that's such a small share size. So again, it's another thing that you don't need to take a huge size on these volatile stocks and low float stocks to have a reasonable profit. BYND was a stock that gave us a little bit hard time for me at the at the open, but now I'm long on it. So it did a really nice consolidation for about 45 minutes. So again, it was a really nice consolidation above the VWAP. I tried to scalp it for the breakup high of the day, but it just didn't give a good follow through. Essentially, after this consolidation at around 10:30, it came up with the volume. I went long. So again, this is the volume. Came up. I went long at 24.80 and popped up, and I got out. The last piece I got out at 127.10, and I still holding a little bit of shares to get out at 128. So that's still something in the book. Yeah, so before that, I tried to scalp it a couple of times. It came up, I went long, popped up, but it couldn't really break. Stopped out, went back in there, stopped out. Eventually, it did pop up but again, it was just very choppy. It was very difficult. In this high of the day, around this, it was really difficult and choppy. But after this big consolidation, it's eventually came back up. So that's a trade that I think. I mean, these kind of situations, I think we're going to teach that. This is really good also for trading options. So what you can do after the big consolidation, a stock is gapping up, you can actually go and trade a buy option on that. A call option. You can buy a call option at 124 for this week, January. You can actually trade it with the option too. It's actually much easier and nicer. And we're gonna have a chat about options this week in our success webinar. That's actually going to talk to that. And LK, so that's LK. So LK was again an ABCD pattern on 5-minute chart and consolidation. So let me find it's here. Yeah, so LK stock, it was gapping down again 9%, but opened very strong. 5-minute open range breakup. I saw a very nice ABCD pattern here. As soon as it broke toward the high of the day at 38, they went long all the way up to 39.25. I was hoping to get to 39.75, but it's very stretched. So I was really hoping to get into that, but after that it broke down, and I got out at the break-even point. So a really good day for me, very decent. I still have a little bit of shares on BYND left. I want to see if you can actually get to 129, because BYND, when it starts moving, based on the daily chart that we have, I mean, 134.41 is a potential level that we can actually get, but that's a stretch. So I was thinking of maybe we can get to the high of this day at 129.68. So I'm holding 100 shares left for that and see if we can get into that point. Um, how did you know that the consolidation ends? So Ahmad, do you mean but beyond? Well, you don't really. It's very difficult to find this consolidation. But as you see here, a couple of times I tried to scalp it, but I couldn't. But this time when I saw the volume is coming in, and again, it could have been choppy again. But in this case, if you manage your risk, even if it gets choppy, that should be okay. So even if it's choppy, but in this example, the volume came in, the order flow started moving up. And so I just took that. Trade. You again, as I said, you never know. Here in this case, when I went long, I was thinking of maybe the consolidation is ended here, but it's choppy. That's why you have to manage your risk. You can. So what you can do is you can actually let me see. Some people draw these trend lines, but again, these trend lines you can draw it. So for example, if you can draw a trend line here, you could have gone long here. Some people can trade the trend line here, and now we go. So that's why I don't use the trend line, because it's just subjective. You can draw the trend lines any way that you want, and you can justify your trade. But in reality, the only thing that really matters for me is the volume. When I'm looking at the volume, that's how it works. And a lot of times, you think the consolidation is over, you go long, and then you get stopped out. It's just that's part of trading. So that's why you need to manage your risk. Anyways, so I need to get to that 128. I have some orders at 128. If you get filled, there is a big ask on 128, so there's very possible that it gets filled at 128. Let's see what we get. Probably it's gonna get into. Uh, 128 and above, so we have some asks, and so that's pretty much it. I mean, the SPYs kind of recovered at the open, but it's still holding around the VWAP, still down 1.5%, and who knows, maybe it just keeps going down and down, but we really don't know at this moment. Beyond, so again, I have some order at 128, 128.10 actually. The high of the day is at 127.96. Is it 128.10? Yeah. So that one is no, that's actually 3 times. So again, I have hotkeys based on buying power. So that's a good question. Why you have 3 lines? I pressed. I have a hotkey based on the percentage of my buying power. So I went in there, but because I was really confident in the move, I just pressed it a couple of more times, 2 more times, so I actually get a bigger position on that. But sometimes you get the extra fills. Sometimes you get different fills, and you get extra triangles. Anyways, BYND is doing some stuff. I'm just holding a little bit of shares of BYND that I have. I want to see what it does. I'm hopeful that it gets to 129. All right, guys. So that's it for me. I mean, guys, we started a new. If you saw on the weekend, I posted a trade replay for a trade that I did on Friday on Intel. So we want to have a series of replays. That if there is any interesting stock, any trade that we can actually go and watch it and practice it on the replay. So if there is anything that you want to have, any trade that you think interesting, always emailing me and say, hey, can you do a replay on that trade that you made, so we can actually learn from that, and I can definitely go into the DAS, and we just have to wait for one day. Next day, when the data is available, we can download the data, we can track this. So just email me if there is any trade that you seem interesting and there is anything that to learn. So just let me know, and I'll just record a replay for that and think about my thought process on that. I don't know if you guys watched that trade replay that I did on Intel, but it's good to know what you like. And that's it, guys. Again, I just thank you so much, guys, for coming, being part of the community. This week on Wednesday, NAS is talking about options trading, and again, for example, this trade on BYND can be a really nice options trade if you want. So options trading with NAS on Wednesday, and meetup. We have a lot of traders in the Middle East, like Dubai and Kuwait and Saudi and Qatar. We were thinking of having a meetup in Middle East. I actually like to go and see You know, I've been to Dubai, but I've never been to Doha or any other country in the Middle East. So I actually like to go there. If there is anyone in there, we have a forum post for a meetup in Middle East. So if anyone in Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi, you know, UAE or Qatar, anyone around this area wants to have a meetup, I'd love to come into that area. All right, guys. So yeah, let me know if you have any question. Email me, Andrew at Bearable Traders, and all the best, guys. Talk to you soon. Cheers.